Greetings. Today I'll be tearing down another piece of electronics. This is from the most abundant piece of electronics that gets thrown away these days. Another set-top box. I've actually got two of those. This is a Sky Plus box. I'm not sure how old those are. We'll have a look inside. It's got a hard drive inside, so that will be definitely worth saving. But mainly, I'm just going to rip it apart and see what there is inside to keep, and what's inside in general, and I'll keep some interesting stuff. Everything else is gotta go. I gotta clear this out because I've just got too much junk at the moment, so I need to I need to go to recycling center with all the metal and scrap that I've accumulated, and this has been sitting on my floor for a while. So let's rip it apart. I'm sure you've seen those. People throw these away like as if there was no tomorrow. There is a lot of changes happening in the TV. Higher definition, newer standards, hard drives with higher capacity and whatnot, and TV companies like Sky or Virgin or whatever, they've got a duty to recall those back, but they don't, and that's why people that receive a new box, they just don't know what to do with it, and they just bin it. And if you look on like FreeCycle or eBay, even if you're willing to pay for postage for something like this, you can get it for near enough for free. And anyways, I'm gonna rip it apart and contribute to the clean planet by taking it to a proper recycling point. By the way, I don't feel like unscrewing everything nicely, so I'm just gonna use my trusty old power screwdriver. Now, screws are always worth keeping in those things. Let's use a magnet for the screws, and yeah, I've got 3 screws on the back that I've just undone, and this should, I think, slide out somehow. Oh, there we go. So this is supposed to have a 80 gig hard drive. Okay, it's actually a 160 gig hard drive, so presumably 80 gig is being used for the likes of live. It gives you ability to rewind back the current program that you're watching or whatnot, and remaining 80 gig is used for your personal storage and stuff, your shows that you set program to pre-record and blah blah blah. You get the idea. So actually it's a 160 gig hard drive, not a huge capacity, but nonetheless it's free 160 gig hard drive. I'm not sure what state is it in, but that doesn't matter, I guess. If it's bad, I can at least do something out of the drive, use the motor maybe and magnets. Okay, we've got a couple more screws here. I'm not sure how annoying this sound will be on the video. If it's too bad, I won't use it anymore. But this may be considered as a test. Now I need something to wedge this. There we go. And something at the bottom, I think, is still holding it. Oh yeah, there's 2 clips on the bottom that need to go in. Ah, come on. 1 and 2. Still not. Still something's holding it. It's always a mystery how to take something apart without cracking any plastic. I wonder if I'm going to succeed today. Okay, and the front panel is connected with a piece of flex, and we've got What have we got? What's here? Oh, that's just a clicky button. And how does this come apart any further? Oh, a clip, and can't see anything else. Oh yeah, there we go. So just a piece of sheet metal that goes into a recycling box. And here we have, what have we got? Lots of clips. And we've got a funky looking LED arrangement. That's a whole module. I've got a couple of those already actually. I think they're quite nice. This whole front face is borderline useless to me, so into the recycling pot. Now I have in the past I have desoldered quite a lot of those tact switches, and they've come quite handy a number of times. And the LED I'll probably desolder. What's here? NEC Sky V0.3. So NEC is making custom chips for Sky, or they're using just some probably it's just a microcontroller that's been factory programmed, and they're buying so many of them, so they are willing to put Sky branding or Sky part number onto the actual chip. And yeah, but that's most likely some sort of generic microcontroller that they just pre-program in the factory, because it's just quicker for whoever assembles the boxes for Sky just to get a ready-made part. There's a date code 2006 19th week, so 2006, 10 years old, 10-year-old box, and still I'm not sure if still, but yeah, 160 gig hard drive is quite decent, I guess. This board I will keep for the tact switches and the LEDs. At some point I'll get those desoldered, so let me put that aside. Now moving on, there's a connector here. Those power supplies I wouldn't probably use for anything. I wouldn't use them for anything as they are, because those things are plugged in 24/7, and yeah, this has got quite some life behind it, so probably not much life ahead of it. But as far as the board goes, heatsink is definitely worth keeping. A nice little compact heatsink. There's a funky fuse that has the actual wire is coiled up over what looks like a ceramic rod, and a bridge rectifier maybe worth keeping in a pinch. You could use that. Transistors, there's probably some MOSFETs on here, those are handy, and another heatsink. That's about it, but other than that, this board needs to get recycled as well, but after I take some bits out of it. Moving on. Well, I thought I'm gonna have to cut this video, but it looks like mostly it's gonna get shot in one shot. The way this is going, it's rather quick. Is there any screws from the bottom? No, so there's only screws from the top. Aha. I need to use an ordinary screwdriver, which I misplaced. There we go. To reach in for those screws here to undo the hard drive. As far as the main board in this goes, is there any more? Yes, on the side. As far as the main board goes, I've got some plans for it, some unusual plans. So I've got something more. Last one. I've got an idea of doing something with old electronics, and potentially this will be a prototype candidate for this, but that's another thing that it'll come. There we go, and a fan inside, a nice little fan. How big is this? Is that 40mm, 50? Yeah, 50mm fan with it's a 3-wire, so it's got the feedback, speed feedback, and judging by the colors of the wires, it's a 5-volt fan. So that's worth keeping. The hard drive card is worth keeping if you're intending to do something with the hard drive. If not, it's not worth keeping, but yeah, I'll keep that. It's a, by the way, it's a U-series Seagate U-series 9, made in Thailand, and yeah, it's this drive manufactured by Seagate for OM distribution. They probably made them purposely for the skyboxes. So yeah, I'm not sure what sort of difference does it make, but yeah, those hard drives actually go for a long time. Anyways, let's get the rest of the screws. And my camera disconnected very nicely. Anyways, I'm not sure when it stopped recording. It does that sometimes. Anything else? I don't think so. This should come out now. At least I thought so. Hold on, is there any more? Oh, there is one here. And it disconnected again. I think I know what the issue is. I think I've killed the battery on the camera, because there's a battery in the camera, and that battery, sorry, or that camera is plugged in most of the time to the charger, and lithium-ion batteries don't like that, and yeah, I may need to get a new battery for it. Now there's still something holding this. It's not obvious what it might be. Clearly there is some sort of way to get this removed, but I doubt that they would be forcing it in like this. Well, there's sockets going forward, so it can't move sideways because of those, and backwards it cannot move either because of the back plane, and on the side it's got those pieces of metal that are folded over, so this is kind of immobilized. I'm wondering if and the camera disconnected for the third time. I've got definitely an issue with the battery. Anyways, what I was saying is, I think the way they put this together is they slide the board in, and then the machine comes over some sort of press and folds those tabs over the board, and that holds it in place. And for the third or fourth time now it's disconnected. So one more time, what I was saying is, I think this board has been put in place, and then the machine folds over those tabs, which holds the board in place as it moves on the assembly line. So there's nothing else that holds the board in place, and because of the way it's made and arranged, the only way it can come out, this has to lift and then move backwards. So yeah, I've got to unfold those tabs, and hopefully that will do the trick. If I only manage this before the camera switches off. The battery is shot, so I need to get a new battery for it. I could have used because the camera is constantly on plugged into a power supply, I could have removed the battery, and I thought of that, but there's a slight problem with it. The camera won't switch on if there is no battery inside, so you have to have a battery, but yeah, it's a little bit funny thing. Not here. Duh. The antenna connectors have got nuts on them. Now it comes out. Now potentially this, now then, even then I would have to pull those up, because this has to lift out anyways to come out. Anyways, that's the board. So this will go to recycling box, and what we have here is a nice board. So what I really want to get out of this board is the card readers, the card holders. Those are gonna be useful to me for something that I've got in mind. Oh, is that a special one over here? I'll have a look at it later. They're a bit of a pain in the ass to desolder, because of the board is like many layers, and yeah, if you overheat them, they start melting plastic and whatnot. But yeah, apart from that, I'll try to clean this up and use this for the other project I was mentioning earlier. But yeah, I've got to go now, and the camera is driving me mad because it disconnected yet again, so I'm gonna leave it on charge for a moment, see what happens. I'll investigate later on. And it disconnected again. It doesn't last even 1 minute. So yeah, I'm finishing this video. That's all for this one before I lose my mind, and that's it. Take care.